What up, people? We are live. It's week 12, Thursday Night Football. It's a Thursday fantasy show. We got Jason Baum, we got Brian Shade, and it is not Thanksgiving. It's another week in which I thought it's Thanksgiving, and it's not. So that's going to be next week. I think we're tentatively going to do a Wednesday show, not to interrupt your turkey. So check us out. Jason, did you know it wasn't Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did, actually. I'm pretty sure I was the one who messaged you about
that. Brian, what's up?
Yeah, I live in the U.S., so yes, I did know.
So, yeah, I'm the only one. Okay. We're going to talk football, but how can you have Thanksgiving so close to Christmas? I don't understand.
It's just the fourth Thursday.
Is it always the fourth Thursday?
Yeah, it just depends how the weeks go out.
Okay. I could have sworn
Usually feels like it's this week, though, but yeah, this time around, it's next.
Okay. So, yeah, week 12, we were just doing some injuries on the pre-show. We got, finally, it's not crazy, eh, Jason? It's lighting up over the last couple weeks?
Life is, fortunately, the only traffic, it's grinded to a little bit of a halt, kind of like I-205 traffic here in the Pacific Northwest, which is really kind of nice. It's been a little less stressful. There's still some stuff going around, but honestly, more of the injury stuff is more on the positive side now with guys coming back. Which is good, and definitely want to hit on that for a little bit.
Okay, yeah, like we got Mike Evans coming back, right? I remember when he pulled that hammy on that touchdown, I was like, oh, he's done for the year. Nope,
they only said he was going to miss 3 games, and then the bye week was going to, get him through, and sure enough, here we are. He practiced in full today, and is saying at this point all systems go for Sunday, which is great news for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that is great news because, the other guys haven't – well, I guess Kate Otten's been good. Running back stepped up. But Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, Sterling Sharp, I mean, I don't know. Brian, do you roster those guys in any leagues?
Yeah, I was pretty high on McMillan. Didn't really work out.
No, I was too. But
I'd be curious to see, and I'm definitely keeping an eye. Like, I haven't dropped McMillan yet, just on if having an actual true number one helps one of them be a consistent number 2, which is valuable in that Tampa offense. And I'm pretty sure they have a really good schedule coming up. So I wouldn't drop McMillan, or if you thought Trey Palmer or Sterling Shepard, like I would just keep him on your bench one more week. Worst case, you drop him next week. But I do think they're people to keep an eye on with Evans coming back.
Okay, cool. Let's talk this week with week 11 quickly because we had that crazy Bills-Chiefs game. A question I've been trying to ask for a while. Jason, have you ever seen a team 4th and 2 in field goal range to go up more than a field goal, right? Elect to go for it, not kick the field goal?
I can't remember the last time seeing it from that side of the field. The only 4th and short I can really remember a team going for it, and it was baffling as hell, was that Colts-Patriots game a bunch of years ago when Belichick went for it inside his own 30 and didn't get it, which was, to this day, the only really questionable decision I could ever say, came off of Bill Belichick from that side of the field. I can't remember seeing it. However, I definitely understand it.
Yeah, they were playing the Colts in that game. That was the first generation of the fourth going for it, right? That broke the window, the mold.
But from the Bills standpoint, I get it.
No, of course, it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant if it works. Absolutely puzzling decision if it doesn't, right? It's kind of it's kind of the results based. But I really respected the Bills for going for it and giving it a shot. However, I did not expect Allen to just take it himself and go 26, 27 yards to the house either.
Yeah. I would have just loved to have had the Allen anytime touchdown bet, and it's 4th and 2, and it's there's just no chance. And he's going, it's oh, God, is he going to slide? No, there was no slide. Brian, that game, you learn anything from that game?
Not really. I mean,
thanks.
I don't have massive – I mean, from a fantasy perspective, I don't really have massive changes to how I feel. Allen, still a stud. The receivers, no one really stuck out too much. I mean, James Cook, I still think is a solid back and top 10 kind of for the rest of the season. Ray Davis, it hasn't really been scaring me. And Mahomes, I just don't for fantasy-wise, he's just not been the guy this year, and nothing really changed that from this past week. I still think Chiefs are going to be a number 1 seed. I didn't have much change from that game. I am curious when Pacheco comes back if they have a timeshare between Hunt and Pacheco, just to work him back in for playoffs. But
I think he's back this week. But quickly, so that wasn't the only game-winning touchdown drive by a quarterback. Geno Smith took it to your Niners, Jason.
Yeah, I got back from the Steeler game just in time to watch the fourth quarter. And the second we punted for the Seahawks, I told my buddy who's house, I was like, I know how this ends. We're gonna lose, and sure enough, yeah, rough one.
Okay, we got some questions building up here, but let's hit me with a couple injuries, Jason. So what did we miss? What are we looking at?
Okay, so really quick, I know we just talked about Mike Evans coming back. We just hinted a little bit at Isaiah Pacheco coming back. He's practiced again in limited fashion today. Things are trending nicely for him to play Sunday. If he does, I would still keep him in that RB2 flex position, kind of like what I put in my injury column this week, just because, like Brian mentioned, they don't know how they're working him back. The Chiefs are still in the driver's seat for the 1 seed. They're playing the Panthers, which, is pretty much going to be a win. So they don't have to, put that full workload on him.
Who would you rather play this week, Hunt or Pacheco?
I got to go with Hunt. I would say Hunt for this week.
Okay.
The broken leg is still a hard thing to come back from. And again, they're probably going to manage that workload. They need Pacheco for January and beyond. Going for repeat, and Hunt has been pretty darn good. So there's that. Now to the wide receiver position, Brian, your boy Devontae Smith missed practice for the second straight day. I know they've been kind of managing him with a hamstring issue the last couple of weeks where he skips, day 1, and then, day 2 he kind of comes back and everything's fine. This one's a little different. He's skipped the second day in a row now, so it's definitely becoming a situation to monitor for Sunday night as the Eagles travel to California to take the Rams Sunday night. At this point, there's no indications he's not going to play, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And, speaking of the Niners, a little tough injury news. I had mentioned in my column this week that Brock Purdy had been dealing with some shoulder soreness and was listed as day-to-day. He was seen at the early portion of practice, but then dipped off into the weight room. His media availability is coming up around 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, so about 55 minutes to an hour from now. And, if he's not practicing today, there's starting to be at least a little bit of doubt. He may not be available for Sunday when they go to Green Bay and take on the Packers.
Okay, cool. That's pretty light. Okay, nothing.
Also missing from Niner practice, 2 other guys. And that they may not be fantasy position players, it's still important to the values of certain fantasy assets for the Niners. Trent Williams missing practice with a toe injury. If he can't go, the Niners skill players all take a hit. Caffrey takes a hit. Debo takes a hit. Kittle takes a hit. And he will be back this week too, by the way. So there's that. And also Nick Bosa missing from practice again today with a hip issue and a couple of obliques. And if he can't go, the Niner defense takes a hit. I was already ready to bench the Niner defense anyway this weekend going into Green Bay. He can't go. I would not even go near playing them.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. And then, Brian, remember I told your Eagles were the best team in football. They ran rush out over Washington.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep no commenting. That seems to work good for me and the Eagles, so we're just going to leave it as is. And
all right. We're going to jump into some questions here, and then we'll hit Thursday Night Football. Anybody who's watching on Twitter, jump over to YouTube. Then you can drop a question or hit us on the Discord after the game. All right, Anthony, who's on our Sunday pods. Dudes, Justin Herbert versus Baltimore or Jared Goff versus Indy? I mean, oh my God.
Oh my God, that's like, do you want a 3 scoop sundae with all the works? Do you want the cheesecake? I mean, that's just greatness all the way. That's just tastiness all the way around.
Yep. If only that analogy was as good. So, right, we got Herbert playing best football of his life, right? He's thrown multiple TDs. He's weaponized everybody. Versus Baltimore pass funnel, or Jared Goff, who just threw up 50, versus the Indy D, which we know has been terrible all season. Brian, you got a lean here?
I would go Herbert. I think Goff in that running game has kind of been carrying the Lions. Not saying Goff hasn't been great too. He has, but I just kind of like them running it out more. I don't know if they're going to keep blowing everyone out. Indy has a pretty good run defense or run offense, which hopefully might make the game a little shorter. Less plays, so you're not just passing it, interception, and then score 50 points. But I have Herbert a bit above. I have them both as top 5 options. I'd have Herbert at 3, Goff at 5. They're both slam dunks. I just think Herbert slightly more.
Yeah, Jace, any
I'm kind of feeling Herbert this week too, a little bit. I feel like this one is more of just a vibes, thing. I got to watch the Baltimore defense in person over the weekend, and yeah, they struggle against the pass. They do get pressure on the quarterback. Their pass rush can get home, but their secondary, if the Chargers line can protect Herbert, is gonna throw a lot, rack up a lot of yards.
I think Herbert's a sneaky MVP candidate. I mean, he's just been crazy. He's been 260, 2 touchdowns the last couple of weeks. Plus, he's running it. And then we just know, right? Detroit's right. Indy's kind of a run funnel because their rush defense terrible. Baltimore's a pass funnel because their run D's good and their secondary is terrible. So you pretty much just any QB you're taking versus Baltimore.
I also think Goff's due for like a little bit. He's not going to throw for 412 and 4 tutties next week. I think he'll throw for like 2 something and 2 or 3.
I agree, but then Montgomery probably gets 2, and then Gibbs gets 1. So, all right, Anthony, another one. Half point PPR, need a wide receiver 2 and a flex. I love it when they give us the teams. I know we should know it all, but I've been sick all week. So we got Addison, Chicago. I don't love that, although Addison just scored. D-Hop versus Carolina. I think everyone loves that. Calvin Ridley versus Houston. Ridley's been great. Or Chuba versus KC. Okay, I think we can rule out Chuba, right? We're not starting anyone against the KC defense.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially Jonathan Brooks is going to play this weekend too.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that eats into his timeshare. Although Chuba did just sign that 4-year extension. Props to him for earning that, and even when the job was about to be ripped from him, he gave everything. Every reason to not.
So, Brian, what are we doing here? Are we taking the worst defense, Carolina?
I mean, I would probably have Chuba as my flex. I just think in a half point, he has a way higher floor than everyone else.
Okay.
Then I'm going, I think, Ridley. It's between Ridley and Hopkins for me. I think Ridley's actually the one corner, Stingley kind of scares me, but like who else on that Tennessee offense is good? Sure, Nick Westbrook-Akine has gotten like 2 long bombs in 2 weeks, so he looks better than he actually has been. But I like the floor of Hubbard. Hopkins is up and down. He hasn't been killer, but he's solid. So if you want a safer play, I'd probably go Hopkins, Hubbard. If you want upside, I'd go Ridley, Hubbard probably, but I think I'm keeping Hubbard in that flex.
Wow. Okay, I'm not. I think Casey Rushdie is truly elite. Jason, what are you doing here?
I'm going Hopkins and I'm going Ridley here. Ridley.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Option, and Hop, he's due for a big have one in a couple of weeks. He's had a couple solid games since the explosive Monday night game. I just love that matchup with the Carolina secondary. So I'm taking Hop.
Yeah, KC after a loss too. They're going to be pissed. They're probably running it up. But okay, but Anthony, it's probably in our SportsEthos league, so we don't really need to help him. Nathan, what's up, guys? So Nathan's doing our big preview this week. You're going to want to check that out. It is always dope. What's good, guys? I need a QB to stream this week. A. Rich versus Detroit or Drake May versus Miami, 4-point passing touchdowns. Okay. What's the correlation usually between rush defense and QB rush defense, right? Like Detroit elite against the running backs, but do you know how good they are versus scrambling QBs?
I don't off the top of my head. I know in general, their rush yards per attempt is low. So that kind of comes into account when it comes to rushing as a whole. So it just basically brings everybody down. But I'm not I don't think there's that much of a correlation. But taking into account between QBs and running backs, like if somebody's good against the run, they're going to be pretty good against QBs as well, just in general. Like the stats, it makes it hard for you to kind of separate out running backs and quarterbacks from the stats perspective. But I still, even with that said, I still like Anthony Richardson. Like that game has such a high over-under that at some point, yes, Detroit hasn't really let up in third, fourth quarter, but there's so much room for garbage time points in that game after Detroit's up 4 touchdowns. bummer I let Anthony Richardson get a 40-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter when we're up 4 touchdowns. Like, I just don't think I think he's going to get a lot of points in garbage time, and I have him ranked significantly higher than May. Miami's been a pretty good defense, actually, this year.
Yeah, sneaky good, yeah.
Yeah, the stats have kind of kept them down, so I like Anthony Richardson in this game. 4-point passing touchdowns really doesn't make a difference because both May and Richardson are good because of their legs as well.
Okay, Jason. So what like suits your fancy here? So you got like situation Richardson probably going to be down passing, which he's not great at, but in a high volume game, or Drake May, Miami, Pats might even win that game. So maybe more positive things happen.
Just to play kind of devil's advocate here, I actually kind of like Drake May. I mean, Brian, everything you said about Anthony Richardson is accurate, but Drake May's actually played pretty well the last few weeks, and he's actually putting up like high-end QB2 fantasy numbers as well. I just, with Richardson, he has his explosive games, and he'll also have a dud game, where he gives you like 5 points. And May is, at least since he took over, has been fairly consistent, like around 15 to 17 points at least. So actually and they could also be trailing by a ton with how Miami's played the last couple of games and getting it going. So I actually kind of like Drake May here.
So can we say ceiling Richardson, floor May?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have this decision in my family league between Richardson, May, and Knicks, actually, and I'm going Richardson. So just if that helps, I am taking a risk on my own with this exact situation, going Richardson.
It's always better, when you're putting your money where your mouth is. All right, Andre says, who will blow up rest of the season? This is a big question. How much we got to get to? We got a few. We can spend a minute on this. So let's say you're just blowing up the league. It was a 5-week regular season playoffs now. Like, who's going, who are the top picks? Like, Barkley's going first? Barkley, Henry? Is it just running backs? And then Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, my guy. How are we answering this, by the way? Is it somebody who's like coming out of nowhere, or is it?
It's Andre. He Googled it.
I mean, I this kind of goes along with some of the trivia I had.
Okay, so we'll defer. We'll defer that. Okay, great.
Yeah, I mean, we can do this now. It's up to you guys, but
let's catch up to the questions.
All right.
Gurjot Singh, trade away Ladd, Neighbors, D-Hop. Ladd McConkey, Malik Neighbors, DeAndre Hopkins for Jaden Reed, Xavier, Cedric Tillman, Alvin Kamara. Jason, anything to jump out at you here?
That's a no for me. Ladd's really coming around in the passing game. Neighbors, I want to see how him and Tommy DeVito, get on. And then also, look, I'm still high enough on D-Hop. He's going to be a solid minimum wide receiver 2 for you every week.
Okay, well, Brian, who are the best players in this trade?
I think Kamara by far.
Okay, by far. Okay.
I mean, he's been a top 5 running back this year. I mean, it's boring, and maybe people are scared because Taysom Hill is the best fantasy player ever, just doing everything for them. But I just think it's with the injuries on their team, it's pretty much Taysom Hill and Kamara are getting every touch. So the workload there is pretty high. I mean, I don't know what the rest of the team looks like, but if you're kind of substituting some wide receiver depth for like an elite running back, I do kind of like this. I'm just hoping that if these are your top 3 receivers, I'm not doing it. If you have some people a bit ahead of them, I would do this just because I think Kamara is way better than anyone else. Reed's in a similar tier, I would say, as these guys, and Tillman's a bit below, but I would do it for the running back.
Okay, yeah, it's a weird trade because like Ladd's probably playing the best. Neighbors has probably got the highest ceiling, but I got the worst QB. Hop's got the best QB, and Jaden Reed's kind of been the best all season. But Tillman's maybe playing the best, or I don't know. I don't know. But so we got Thursday night game tonight, right? So how concerned are you guys about the weather in Cleveland tonight? I've got Tillman and Boswell thinking of picking up a different kicker. Chad Ryler and Zane Gonzalez. Okay. Anyone dialed into the weather?
Yeah. So actually, I was reading up on the weather reports. Weather is supposed to be in the 20s to 30s, potential of snow. And, Dan, I've actually been kind of going through the same conundrum myself here. I have Boswell in my big money league. And, oh, man, he was fantastic for me last week. So I definitely understand you not wanting to use him this week. But all I'm going to say is this. If you're not going to use Boswell, do not drop him. He's been so money. He usually puts up double figures every week. It would be a mistake to knock him off your roster, and risk somebody else picking him up. He is just
kicker stacks. Yeah. So the weather was supposed
players this year in fantasy points, and he's had a couple 20+ point weeks, which is a lot more than some guys who play the other skill positions can say.
I think I saw he'd be the tight end one.
He's had more. I'm pretty sure he's had more 20-point fantasy weeks than Patrick Mahomes this year.
I bet. So the weather was supposed to be bad, right? Snow, wind, but apparently I have been on it all day. It's only like 35% now. So I'm saying it's probably. I think it got overrated. The total was 36, and it's moved up to 40. So I think a lot of the bettors are seeing the weather is not really going to be that bad, and right now, I would say you're going to be fine. I'm starting Tillman. I would definitely start Boswell. Check again, maybe an hour before, see if we get definitive. Because if it's windy, it's rainy, it's slushy, that's gross. And this could be an old school Thursday night game where it's like 13-10.
Although I will say, Steelers have won 2 games this year without scoring a touchdown and have just relied solely on Boswell's leg. And also, if you guys saw any of the post-game stuff with Justin Tucker on Sunday, he was complaining about the conditions of Acrisure Stadium and, how tough it was to kick. But, the conditions were just as tough for Boswell, and he hit 6 field goals, including 3 from 50+.
All right, Brian, you got anything on the weather?
I don't really pay much attention to the weather. I would just look at the Vegas over-under lines. That'll probably give you better information than any of us can give you. If you see the line start dipping a little bit more closer to game time, you'll see. I mean, this is where your professional bettors kind of come in, have their own weatherman basically on staff, and they're going to hammer over under based on what they think the weather will be. So I would just kind of keep an eye probably half an hour before the game. If you see it going up or down, kind of you can react as you want. Big thing with me, though, I don't like rostering 2 kickers. I think that's a waste of a roster spot, in my opinion. So if you love Boswell for rest of season, I don't think the risk of playing him in this game is like more than the risk of not being able to roster a backup running back or some other flex level player that you would actually be able to play, or backup defense. So I'm not dropping him in this situation. I'm just going to play him if I have him.
Yeah, I would say play weather. Weather was a little overstated. I wrote in my preview, I was worried about it earlier today. It looked like it was going to be brutal. I think it's cleared up a bit, but we don't really know. I haven't checked in a couple hours, so I'm going to check and making any adjustments. So Jason, are you a weather guy? Like, if you got 2 QBs, let's say you've got, let's say Brock Purdy playing great, but it's snow, in Cleveland with snow and wind, and then you've got Jameis Winston in Detroit. Are you ever putting Jameis in over over Purdy?
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's something I did play, and if you remember last year, I wrote all the weather reports. So yeah. So I want to say I'm kind of a weather guy, but it's also more player dependent. Like, if Brock is going to Green Bay this weekend and he had his full complement of players around him, that includes Trent Williams and includes Debo and there's even Sans Ayuk since he's out for the year.
Stop naming Niners players.
I would play Brock over
okay.
In that case, because the Steelers defense is really good. I don't trust Jameis against them. As much as I love Jameis, love you, dude, but I don't trust you against the test team.
We are going to talk a little Jameis in a bit, though, because the good thing is with the weather, it drops all the props down, and then they don't really fully adjust. So, like, Judy's props, Tillman's props, if that weather's nice, I mean, Jameis also probably going to throw 2 picks, be down, negative game script. They could easily, you could even outline them. There's a lot going on here. All right, Jason Ortiz says, if CD's ruled out with Jake Fergie, would you play Schoonmaker over Ertz, more volume? Brian, any Schoonmaker love in your house?
I mean, I would think there's going to be similar volume. I just think you have a higher upside with Schoonmaker. I think it's more of a floor ceiling. Zach Ertz is like your ultimate floor tight end. He will
Did
not
he score in the last play of the game on Thursday too? Yeah. We were talking about him on our show.
Yeah, he was just, I mean, good for him, but he just destroyed garbage time in that game. I mean, but what are you going to do? He had 4 for 48 and a touchdown, which was like exactly what we said was his ceiling, pretty much. So I would just play Ertz if you need a floor. I would play Shoemaker if you want a ceiling.
Okay. Jason, sorry, were you trying to jump in there?
No, I'm going with the same thing. Ertz kind of gets the same amount of targets and same amount of yards every game. Just kind of
Yeah.
So I actually like Shoemaker here too.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so Jason, let's go stay with you here. Half PPR, start Tucker Kraft versus San Fran, but you saying it's going to be bad weather in Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Luke.
I don't know if you saw pictures earlier, but it is snowing in the Midwest.
Okay. Shoemaker at Washington, Theo Johnson versus Tampa. So no weather. If no weather was an issue, we're Tucker Kraft all day, right?
I'm still going Kraft no matter what, because you got to remember too with these fields is that they have these like heating and drainage systems now, which like kind of melts the snow out. So it really kind of doesn't render it totally obsolete, but it definitely neutralizes it enough.
Even at Lambeau?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Fred Warner? Do they ever have him like shadow tight ends?
Not really. I haven't really seen him ever get, he has this one-on-one matchup every time that they, go out there. So no. And again, it's going to be tougher now, especially if Nick Bosa doesn't play, how that alters his role. And you still have all those other dudes you got to cover.
So, Brian, we're Tucker Kraft all day?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Okay. Victor Blanco. That's your real name. That is a badass name. Okay, this has got layers. So this is his team. He's got Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Kenneth Walker, Josh Jacobs, Rashad White, Jamar Chase, Cortland Sutton, Marvin Aaron Jr., Jennings, Joan Jennings, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce got offered. Oh, you're giving us the info, which is great. Malik, so Neighbors and Brees Hall for K9, MV, Marvin Harris Jr., Hopkins. I mean, I'm doing this, right? Malik and Brees. I'm getting the 2 best players in the trade.
I'm doing it. I think Brees is going to go off. The only thing I'm worried about is if the Jets just go tank their whole season, but Brees his schedule is like priming himself up for a great end of season.
Is he a potential trivia answer?
Just make sure you wait a week because the Jets are off on. Jets are. Hey, good news is Jets can't lose on Sunday.
This might be why he's doing the trade. The guy might need the action this week, right?
Yeah, I would still do it even with the trade or even with the bye week.
I'm doing it too.
Yeah, far away. Neighbors and Brees. Do we have any faith in Tommy DeVito?
Minimal.
He's a quarterback.
He's a quarterback in the NFL.
So it's kind of a mystery box. How much worse could he be than Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I mean, he will probably throw it more, which is good because Jones could at least run more.
Yeah, so he says, just worried this week would start Rashad White over K9 and Malik over Marvin Harrison Jr. Just worried this week. White over K9. Yeah, Malik over Marvin Harrison. Oh, yeah, that tracks. Oh, he's 5 and 6. Well, yeah, giving us all the answers, Victor. We love. So 5-6 wild contender. So Victor, he needs a win. You're not making playoffs 5 and 7 because then you got to run the table 7-7. Then maybe you're playing for points, right? So, all right, let's get back to this quickly. So you got Josh Allen on the bye. You got Bo Nix on the road. So you need the win.
I'm still doing it.
So you're eating Brees this week. So he gets, but then so he gets to start Kenneth Walker over Rashad White. Who's Seattle playing this week?
Seattle's playing the Cardinals at home.
Cardinals. Okay, well that's nice for Walker. Although he hasn't been great.
It's not that easy of a matchup. I mean, Cardinals have been, man.
I know, but I still don't trust them. They don't have any physicality, but it's true. Cardinals are sneaky good, but I still think they're soft. Yeah, I mean, you still got to do it, but man, it's just I don't know how he's going to win this week because he doesn't have Josh Allen. So maybe you try and wait the week, or you try and see if he can throw you in a backup QB. Because Bo Nix isn't great, but not on the road.
Yeah, he's been fine.
All right, in Kamara Neighbors trade from earlier, my other wide receivers are DK Pickens, Brown. So this is like an 8-team league. So, but that trade is pretty fair. The Kyron and Swift. Kyron's fallen off Swift, so you're just doing it pretty much to get Kamara. Right?
Yeah, if that's your roster, then I'm doing it. It's like
you don't care about your wide receivers. Yeah, you hit on all your late wide
who the rest of your
receivers.
receivers are.
All right, so I love quarterback starts because they're just kind of nice and simple. These complex trades hurt my brain. All right,
This
so
is
we're
a
starting.
simple one.
This is simple. What, we're all going Mayfield. All right, Hurts, Mayfield, Goff. All right, help me out. Who's Philly playing?
Rams,
Rams. And Tampa's playing.
Giants.
Okay, and then Goff. We already did Indy. So best matchup would probably be Goff.
Yeah.
Rams are a pretty good matchup too.
Yeah, I like Hurts here. Again, just simply for the running.
So who would Philly have to be playing where we wouldn't like Hurts? Like if Philly was playing Philly?
Nobody. I mean, like I have Hurts in a bunch of leagues. Their bye week's already gone. I'm not rostering another QB. The likelihood that I ever start Mayfield over Hurts, not going to happen. And so why have a QB on the bench for me when I could maybe, I don't know, pick up Jonathan Brooks, and maybe Chuba gets hurt this week. Like that's a way higher upside for me than having Mayfield just in case like Hurts gets hurt or whatever. Like I'm not worried about that, and I'm not even rostering another QB if I have Hurts.
Well, my assumption is it's Super League and he's got 3, or it's really deep, yeah. But okay, so what if let's say it's Tampa at home to Carolina, and then Philly is on the road Pittsburgh. okay.
Still going with Hurts.
So Philly's the best team in the NFL.
No, it's just like why? Who are you starting over Hurts? Like Saquon. There was one stat about Saquon where he's gone out the most in the league at the 1 and 2 yard line. Like he's been tackled at the 1 and 2 yard line the most in the league, and then it's just a 6 points for Hurts.
Yeah, that was great. I had that Hurts anytime touchdown. I couldn't believe he didn't get that touchdown last week.
Yeah.
So Jason says the game's still at 36. So I might have missed it. Did it open at 45 and that probably dropped to 36 because of the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still at 36. So that's trending. So that's trending that the weather hasn't improved that much because that's a 4-point swing is a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And there's going to be money. There's people who are going to want a middle and then also want to get back in the over. I'm surprised public's like, oh, weather's not actually that bad, and would bump it back up. So I'm thinking maybe Vegas knows as a better weatherman than my app, and it's still going to be crappy.
It's also the Browns and Steelers, like.
Yeah.
It's just like I feel like most of the AFC North showdowns are just like that.
Yeah, AFC North in late November on a Thursday, right? But Jameis could be responsible for 40 points. He could throw 2 pick sixes, 2 touchdowns. I guess that'd be 28. But.
Oh, we love Jameis. Just the wild
What do you think? What do you think Jameis to throw an interception? What do you think his the price is?
Ooh, I'm gonna go minus 250.
I'll go minus 200.
Yeah, minus 198.
Oh, that's pretty close.
Yeah. Doesn't that feel like free money? I feel like he'd have to get hurt.
Jameis anytime pick.
Okay, let's get. We got a couple more questions here. 5:30. Brian, you gotta leave when?
Like 5:40, 5:45.
Okay. Let's do this question, do a little trivia, then we'll hit the rest of your questions, guys. All right, CD Smitty, you need to play 2. Choices are Leggett, Dowdle, Pittman, that sucks, or Cedric Tillman. There's also Demario Douglas, Christian Watson, Addison on waivers. So if these guys are on waivers, 10-man league, right?
Or 8, yeah.
Well, I'm staying at the ceiling. So I like the guys on waivers. I like Tillman tonight if the weather's good. I don't like Pittman. I don't like Dowdle. I don't really like Leggett, right?
I don't mind Dowdle. I mean, I like my running backs, but I have Dowdle project. I think Dowdle has a higher floor than Leggett, Tillman, probably all of them. Watson, I feel like he's been kind of growing in target share the past few weeks. If you really need, you have a bunch of people on bye, Watson's kind of a wild card I like to throw out there just in case he goes off. He could win me the week when the rest of my team's on bye. So if that's your situation, I'd probably go Watson, Addison for upside. Pittman, or maybe
I mean,
just don't.
Tillman's been great. Tillman's getting 10 targets a game with Jameis. They're down all the time. Like, Tillman's been really good.
Yeah, to me, I do worry about the like projected score. That I put a lot of weight into that. Of if they're only projected to score 17 points, like there's just not that many points to go around.
Good point.
If they're projected to score 24, it's just way more likely. So that's my kind of downside of Tillman. Leggett, I just don't trust that offense. They're going against Kansas City. Like that's a no for me.
Jason, what are you doing? Do you like the wire more than the team?
I'm liking the wire more than the team here. Addison. I guess I know you're a big Demario Douglas guy.
Yep.
I mean, I like Watson and Addison. Even though Watson could definitely pop a big one on Sunday, and really, the Niners been susceptible to big plays, and Watson's a home run threat. He could get one and make your week.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then Addison just scored with Hawk back. I'm a little worried he's going to get that, like, just the last guy invited to the, it's a 4-man table and he's the 5th man, right? Kind of like how Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, a lot of these guys.
Model, which is probably more floor based, has Watson, Dowdle, Pittman.
Watson, Dowdle, Pittman. Okay, wow. But that's projected score, right? A lot of those points in that Indy game are going to Detroit.
Yeah.
But so I'd say if the weather's not a thing, I like Tillman. I like a little Thursday night action. Watson's been great, but I mean, no Leggett. I don't know. Dowdle, he's getting like 25 rushing yards a game. Who's Dallas playing this week?
Well, Washington.
Yeah, they're playing Washington.
Okay, that's not so bad. But all right, we got a few questions. We're going to take a little question break because Brian's got to go shortly and he's got a little trivia game for us. So, and then anyone on YouTube, jump over to Twitter. No, Twitter, jump over to YouTube. Ask questions. That's the one. Hit us, Brian.
You want the easy or the hard one?
Start easy. Warm us up.
I'd start easy. Who are the top 2 receivers at the moment? I'll go total points at the moment.
Total points? I mean, I'm gonna throw Chase in there.
Yeah, Chase and Nico for me is what I'm going with.
Oh no, it's total points.
Yeah, I'm going Chase and Nico.
How could Nico have the most total points when he missed 5 games?
He was going off every week, even though he missed 4.
There's no way.
Those 2 are 1 and 2 in points per game. Chase and Nico.
I don't think Jefferson's gotten there. Brain scroll. Amon-Ra?
There you go. That's number 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which to
I'm
me,
the host.
That one is kind of. I mean, I feel like people drafted him for like he's a guaranteed wide receiver 1, maybe not the highest floor, but he's 2 right now. So
all he does is score touchdowns.
Yeah. Tight ends, who's top 2 points per game and just total points.
Brock Bowers has to be one of them.
Yeah, I go for Kittle. I can't believe you didn't go your boy first.
Yeah, it's them too.
Yeah.
Which is another rookie tight end up there.
The curse is broken.
Finally, it was at least a first-round pick because usually the first-round tight end isn't the one who ends up being T1. So
my favorite player is number 3 in points per game
for tight ends. Oh, Dallas Goedert.
No, Taysom.
Oh,
Taysom. Is Taysom Hill the most must-draft player of like the last 5 years? You can get him in like the 12th round, and then he's going to win you 3 weeks. You just have to know when to start him. If Brock Bowers had a good QB, is he a first-round pick next year?
I mean, the Laporta thing scares me.
Yeah.
But I think he's like the thing with Brock Bowers, at least, was like everyone knew he was a stud coming into it, and then he proved it. Laporta was kind of like, oh, maybe this guy's awesome, and then kind of fell back. So that's one thing. But
they also got a lot of weapons. All right, next question.
Running back, points per game, and top 2 total points.
I mean, I'm going to go Barkley Henry.
Yeah, Barkley Henry would be.
So that's that is total points. Points per game. Joe Mixon, number 1.
Oh, Joey
Yeah,
Mix,
yeah.
right? 3 tutties will do it. Okay.
So the top 5 in points, 4 of them are like your old people who you'd think would be done. It's Henry, Barkley, Kamara, Bijan, and then Joe Mixon.
I think I wrote articles on not to draft most of those.
Yeah, it's just wild to me, like looking back at it now and seeing like everyone's rankings. And I mean, Taysom, yeah, like you said, 12th round pick every year. Maybe you pick him up off the wire, and then somebody in your league gets annoyed when you start him at tight end and he throws for a touchdown.
Runs
It's
for
clockwork every time. But defense, that's the one that I was really confused about. And that's probably the hardest one that we can stop there.
I mean, well, I know I just did the preview. Steelers have like 14 they've got 12 picks, only giving up 8 touchdowns, or 14-12. So they have more interceptions than touchdowns allowed for passing. So they got to be close, and they get the sacks, right?
They're third.
What?
They're
Jason?
third.
Jason, we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm going with the Vikings.
They are number 1.
Oh, nice.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, they've been dominant. Like they've been dominant all year. And then one team is your Eagles are starting to come on. You know, Brian, everybody starting to mold over to Vic Fangio, and it's starting to work out and starting to click.
Yeah, they kind of came on later. The beginning wasn't good.
Terrible beginning, but now it's starting to click. I mean, they beat up the Cowboys a couple weeks ago, and that cost me 2 matchups because I was going against the Eagle defense, and they've been playing a lot better as a league. Be another team, you know, to go back to Andre's question, they could be a position that kind of breaks out for the rest of the year and, you know, maybe steals a league.
Yeah, and Broncos were number 2. But, yeah, I mean, I liked kind of going off defenses for the rest of the year. A few teams I've been picking up were Eagles because they play NFC East a lot. If they're available, I go for them because Giants and Cowboys are just kind of done for the year. And then Falcons and Bengals, both of them haven't been the best, but their matchups are pretty solid in playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Jason, you did all the defense. You did all our fantasy playoff rankings, too.
Yeah.
Is that still stuck in your head?
No. Once it was. Might have to go back and do that for the next week.
Okay, let's do that because I'm a huge fantasy playoff guy.
The Week 15 show once we playoffs rolling around.
No, because you want to do some pre-prep, right? If you're a 1 seed.
True. All right, yeah.
And maybe the week after. We'll do a taste next week. All right, Brian, you got anything more for us? Or you got to go?
No, I got to head out. But, I mean, biggest thing, see the biggest random play I had this week.
It is Bobby Getton, so there's
Let's see who I got up high. Jalen Waddle, I have pretty high this week.
Wow.
It's one thing that I like. It's a stat that I was a bit confused about, but the Dolphins offense has some of the most yards per point this year. Like, say they score 21 points, like the amount of yards by point. And then the New England defense gives up some of the most yards per point.
Okay.
So I had to manually push down all their yardage markers because it was like absurdly high. So that Dolphins team is a team that I'm pretty high on this week, just from a yardage standpoint. Points are going to be what they're going to be, but I could see a lot of I'm pretty high on a lot of those plays.
And I'm pretty sure Tyreek never goes off versus the Pats. It's like the one team that always holds him in check. So check, and he's been in check all season, but check him so that everyone else has got to pop, right? So nice. Yeah, okay. So Waddle, A-Chain, the whole beans. Even Jonnu Smith.
I love Jonnu. Yeah, he's hopefully going to save me a league at tight end. But
okay.
You know, with Tyreek and obviously all those years, Belichick was the one game planning, and he was always good at taking away the team's best player.
That is true.
Different coach. So we'll see how Gerard Mayo handles this the first time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Brian, you got to go. Jason, you stick around? We'll finish these questions. All right, second, Brian. Put a hoodie on. Hope your dog's okay, though. But all right. Let's go. Where do we end up here? If Purdy's out. All right. If Purdy's out, hopefully not, right? Should I start Anthony Richardson, Caleb, Tua? I can't DJ Stroud.
Wow.
Why are they? I mean,
famous words I didn't think I would hear at this time of the year. The Texans, aren't they playing? Who are they playing again?
Tennessee? Tennessee, is it?
Yes, it is Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee's
I got
defense has
one.
been okay.
It's been pretty good. They hold up explosives, but I mean, Stroud hasn't been Stroud. He's getting Nico back. He's getting the most explosive wide receiver back. So it's like add a touchdown, 70 yards, plus you might get the blow up, although Titans have been good against wide receiver ones. Well, can we rule up Caleb? We're not playing Caleb, right?
Yeah.
So we got Tua AR-15.
I'm going with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I'm going Tua. Brian just said the Dolphins are about to explode. Right? The pass defense is terrible. Christian Gonzalez is good, but I guess everyone else is terrible.
Yeah, they don't really have a pass rush. I mean, well, that's what happens when you trade your best pass rusher at the start of the year.
I think like if you need 25, 30 points to win, maybe go a Rich, right? Because he maybe playing catch up, maybe he runs for 80, runs for a touchdown, throws for 200, and he might stack up points. But I think Tua is going to give you 280, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think Richardson could do the same, plus get you one on the ground. So
yeah, exactly. So
especially if there's a negative game script.
It's just I just still don't really trust him. I want to see him play 2 good games before I'm starting.
Who's got the better floor for sure? Richardson's got the better ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, how realistic? How close will he get to it? All right, Skeeter. I just traded James Conner and Jaden Reed for Nico Collins. Nico.
Oh yeah, we all know who you're going to react.
Thought was still the wide receiver 1 after missing 5 weeks. I love that.
Yeah, I love that deal too.
All right.
Without hesitation. As much as I love Connor, you're getting 2 stud wide receivers for him. Absolutely.
This is the whole point of fantasy, right? Buy low, right? We know Nico's a stud, but maybe hamstring lingers. Right? He had that touchdown call back in like the first play of the game.
The very first play of the scrimmage didn't look like he was had any after effects.
Yeah. I didn't think he looked that fast, though. He looked fast, but not that fast.
He just went
we got to go fast.
Cowboys. We went to the Cowboys defense untouched on that first play.
Yeah, that's true. Shaka, would you trade Pickens for Monte PPR redraft? Pickens for Monty. So you want Monty?
Yeah, I still want Montgomery. Montgomery still gets you touchdowns. Still gets you a few catches. Pickens isn't a high catch guy, although he did have 8. He did have 8 the other day. He started to get targeted a lot more. I always still trust the running back in this case.
But Monty's not getting any catches.
Isn't he have 2 or 3 a game, doesn't he?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Well, maybe 1, maybe 2. But Gibbs is obviously the catch guy. Pickens, Monty. Yeah, I mean, Monty scores every game. Lions are putting up 50 points. I mean, I know Pittsburgh's offenses look good. They got 28 in 3 of the last 5. I'd have to check the schedule. Right. I would gauge this on playoff schedule. Right. Like if I got Pittsburgh at home. But if Ravens, if they're playing the Ravens in the playoffs, I'm gonna go Pickens. But
they have 5 divisional games left. They have 2 of that 2 weeks they're playing Cleveland, which are tough, and then Cincinnati in between. They also have that day game with the Chiefs.
But no good secondaries. Bengals secondary is terrible. Browns secondary's been bad. Ravens are bad. It's like the opposite.
Denzel Ward can bottle him up though. Denzel Ward is good, and then you have the Chiefs Christmas Day, which is week 16, and that secondary is pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't even start Pickens in that game. They shut down wide receiver 1, so Pickens is kind of a baby.
Lions schedule is a bit more favorable.
So Skeeter says these other running backs were Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, but we already love the trade. So
yeah,
you got Nico Collins, you got the best player in the trade, plus and Chase Brown's been great. Chase Brown's blowing up. So Aaron Jones is probably the worst running back in that group there. He really hasn't been very good.
Yeah.
Okay, Armin says, with Mike Evans playing, should I start Kate Otten or Will Dissly? Will Dissly, who's been blowing up. I had to read like 800 words in Anthony's preview on him. What are you doing? Are you downgrading Kate Otten that much?
No, I'm still keeping him. Even with Evans back, I think Otten's been solid enough where it's not going to really hurt his stock that much. Maybe a little bit, but not a ton.
So Chargers are playing who?
Chargers playing the Ravens at home.
Ravens at home. Okay, so that's nice for Dissly. And then Tampa, we already said, was playing. My brain doesn't work today. Tampa is playing who?
Tampa is playing the Giants.
Giants. Okay, so that's both good options. I mean, Dissly just scored, but I think so. Otten's probably the second option with Mike Evans. Dissly's what? We got Quentin Johnson Lad McConkey. So he's third, maybe fourth with Josh Palmer.
Yeah,
So
I'm still going on here.
it's close though. It's very close. I mean,
Yeah.
there are two guys that nobody drafted really that are kind of elite tight ends. I mean, depending on how good your team is, you might even start Otten at tight end and flex Disley. Like Disley's been that good. Okay. Hey guys, should I do Debo and Lad for CD? 14 team PPR. I've got Marvin Harrison, Juwan Jennings, Jacoby's my other receivers. What do you think, Jace?
Ooh, this is tough. CD actually did put up some decent numbers with Cooper Rush. The only problem where I'm a little concerned right now is, are the Cowboys going to just shut him down because they haven't paid? They want him ready for next year. I mean, a couple weeks ago it was an obvious yes. Right now, with the Cowboy situation, and you've got the Niners and Chargers playing for playoff spots. You still have a couple. I'm pretty sure you still have a couple buys in there too. I think the Raiders still have a buy. I'm actually holding off on and not doing this.
Me too. I'm a big fan, best player in the trade, but 14 team, you really want that depth, right? Guys are going to fall off, and Lad's playing crazy good ball right now. Herbert's finding him all over the field. He's catching everything, and then Debo's still your mystery box gadget guy who can blow up in any given game, right? So
yeah, so I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I'm not doing this, right? Yeah, especially like see,
Lamb's
only good with Dak, right? You only
Harrison
trust
Jr.
with
has
Dak.
not been that good. Like, he's very, very hit or miss. Like, you just never know what you're going to get with him.
With Lamb?
No, with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh yeah, Marv. Yeah. He's been a little consistent lately, but he's not nearly what I thought he'd be or what everyone thought. It's a dud rookie year for anyone who took him first round.
Yeah.
All right, more QB questions. Edward Abarca, should I start Bo Nix or Baker Mayfield? No brainer. If you check, oh my God, check the splits, right? It's Bo Nix on the road. He actually has been really consistent lately, so he took a while, but I'm still not starting him on the road. He hasn't earned it. Baker's at home too, right? Sam's at home.
Yeah, right with Baker all the way.
All right, Mike Evans back. Baker's been running it. He's been slinging it. They're off their bye, so he'll be even a little healthier because he was a little banged up. Yeah, Baker all day. I mean, I did the QB ranks this week, but
There's very few guys in this league right now that you're starting over Baker Mayfield.
What's the quick list?
Josh Allen's and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Brock Purdy? No, wow. Yeah, Baker, man. Love me. You're a Baker boy, right?
Oh, I'm a Baker guy for sure.
Shocker. All right, BJ, what up, fellas? Sit one PPR. Mike Evans, Monty. That's Montgomery, right?
Montgomery, I'm assuming, yeah.
Cooper Kupp, James Conner. Sit one. I think you gotta sit Evans, right?
No, I'm playing Evans. PPR. Playing Evans. He's available. He's fully healthy. You're starting Mike Evans.
Okay, but you're not.
I'm sitting.
You're not benching Cooper.
What?
Who are you benching then?
Montgomery.
Really? All he does is score touchdowns. Indy's got the worst rush team in the league.
Yeah, still, you got James Conner, who's good in the passing game too.
Okay, this is tough, man.
I'm PPR here. I'm going with Conner, and Seattle's run defense isn't that great.
It's terrible. It's true. It's terrible. Yeah.
I mean, they all have good, favorable matchups. So
I'm starting Evans. I don't like starting players after they're injured. I mean, sure, he's probably going 80 for a touchdown, but he's just got the highest risk, right? He's got 15% where everyone else has got less than 10, in my opinion.
Take a chance with Mike. Baker needs some wide receivers back in his life.
Yeah, I mean, he might go 202 touchdowns. So, I mean, Evans, it's just that's tough, man. You got really good players. You're probably going to win either way.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Oh my God, I still got more questions. What time can you go till?
So whenever.
All right, 24 all night. Victor Blanco, what up? You're back. Pick up one flex PPR. Rashad White, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Keenan Allen, Rico Dowdle, Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler, yeah. Austin Eckler or Calvin Austin?
Let's go Austin Eckler.
Okay. Then it's Eckler.
Really?
I mean, he's still getting. He had 8 catches last week?
Yeah, he did.
Robinson available. Yeah, he's still effective out of, and that Cowboys run defense is. I've got some less appropriate terms to use, but just to go appropriately, not good.
Okay. We got Watson, Dobbs. They're pretty much the same. That's Green Bay, the wide receiver core. They just alternate. Keenan Allen was okay last week, but he's old. I don't know the Rico Dowdle. I don't get it. He has rushes for 20 yards a game. For me, it's Rashad White or Austin Eckler. I mean, White's been great, but with Evans back, do they throw to him a little less? And White's really good in a negative game script, right? That's when he's always in the pass catcher. So
I'm going Eckler.
Eckler. Okay, let's do Eckler. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Oh, they also just said they want Sean Tucker involved in every game, so that could take even more away from White.
I mean, they've been going by committee for a while now too, so that definitely hurts Rashad's stock.
Well, just with the wide receivers out, they've just kind of just using the running backs as everything, right? So it's been Tampa's been fun. Good team to roster. All right, Augusto Kashishian, close. All right, his QBs are Hurts. So he's got Hurts, and he's got Hall, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Chase Brown, J.K. Dobbins. That's a lot of good running backs. Austin Eckler. He's got Drake London, CeeDee Lamb, Calvin Ridley, Juwan Jennings, Josh Downs, your boy, tight ends, Bowen Hawkinson. Okay, your team's
big
stacked.
week last week, so I don't want to hear any Josh Downs slander today.
Would you do Dobbins and Ridley for DK? So you're clearly in an 8-10 man league. So all you want to do is trade up 2 for 1s, 2 for 1s, 2 for 1s. So Dobbins and Ridley for DK, that gives you some eliteness. You can afford both of those guys. Is DK enough? Right? You're probably going
because you still have London. You still have London and Lamb. So yeah, definitely doing that.
Yeah. I would say maybe you even aim a little higher. But, I mean, Dobbins just had that game-winning touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Ridley's been a target hog. I mean, DK is obviously clearly the best player, but it's kind of I think you're paying 120 cents for a dollar. That's what you want to do in a smaller team league, but really, maybe make it $1.10. So, yeah. So maybe I'd try and switch out Eckler for Dobbins.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, I mean, you can't really go wrong. I like what you're getting there, and you have 3 number 1 wide receivers on your team, so that helps.
Yeah, the key is to upgrade. You just want to always be upgrading. All right, I'm trying to catch up here, boys. I'm trying to catch up. Boppo, pick 2. Tank Dell, Tyrone Tracy, Cedric Tillman, David Njoku. Let's assume if the weather's bad, do we just knock out Tillman and Njoku and take Dell Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, either way, Tracy's 1.
Okay, Tracy's 1. Okay.
Tracy's one of them for sure. The Bucs run defense is bad. And
yeah, okay.
Tracy's really taken over the number 1 duties for the Giants. He's looked really good. And he catches out of the pass game, too, so that helps.
A couple bad fumbles, though, but yeah.
Yeah, hey, it happens. He's a rook.
Yeah, okay, Tracy 1, and then, all right, so between Tillman and Njoku, who'd you go? Njoku just went like 9 for 9 for 81 yards.
I'm going Njoku.
Njoku? Okay.
Yep.
So Tank Dell, almost probably better as a wide receiver too with Nico, but it's a Joe Mixon team right now.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it really is. He's having a great year, and he's killing it. We have 3 touchdowns on Monday.
I know, it's ridiculous. Is this Edward Abarca? Is this trade good? I get Burrow, Chase Brown, and Brandon Aubrey. Kicker trade. Okay, let's go. And he gets Brian Robinson Jr. and Fairbairn, which is the
Texans kicker.
Texans kicker. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So let's just do kicker off. Who's a better kicker, Fairbairn or Aubrey?
I mean, Fairbairn gets more opportunities, but Aubrey's pretty much automatic. So
yeah, but we're talking fantasy. I'm saying who'd you rather have?
No, I'm saying Aubrey.
I know.
Guy's automatic.
You want Aubrey? You want Aubrey for fantasy?
Yeah, and Aubrey. Yeah.
Okay. So just for kickers. So then it's just Burrow. You got again Burrow. Like Chase Brown's crazy right now.
I'm doing that trade 100 times.
Right.
If I'm Edward. I mean, let's put it this way. If the Bengals had any better than a 4-7 record, which they probably should, Burrow would be running away with the MVP right now. 27 touchdowns, 4 picks. The dude is having a season. Nobody's talking about it because his team can't win a damn.
Okay, so and you get the nice Burrow chase tack when they get receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
Kicker wash. Yeah, I think this trade's great. I mean, Brian Robinson Jr. has been awesome, but he's also been hurt. He's banged up, right? He's hurt plays. Plus they're deep. So, we like it. We sign off.
Yep.
All right, we got a few more here. Forever Eagles. Oh, too bad Brian left. What's up, fellas? Would you consider starting Nick Chubb over Jerry Jeudy because of the weather condition full PPR? I love these questions. Okay, so the problem is Steelers' top 5 rush defense, but weather maybe it's the volume game, right? You're thinking quantity, not quality. So let's say the weather's terrible. Will they give him 20 rushes?
Yeah, I'd still start Chubb. I usually choose running back. I mean, you know me. My trend is to usually start running back over receiver. You know, I know Judy had the massive game last week. That was his first good game, and man, I can't even tell you how long.
No, he's been good with Jameis.
Oh,
Yeah. I think the first Jameis game, then he had the 3-pick game, and then last week. So he's had two out of 3 good games. Plus the first 7 terrible.
Yeah, I still just can't entirely trust Judy, so I'm still going with Chubb.
So yeah, I don't like Chubb this week because the Steelers, right? He's getting 10 carries, getting even if he averages 5, he's getting that 5 for 10 for 50. You need a touchdown. So, but what you gotta wait, right? Check an hour before the game, see what it's gonna be.
Watch the pregame show.
What?
Watch the pregame show.
I don't trust the pregame show. Go on Twitter and find somebody who's gambling heavy on the game.
No, what I'm saying is watch the pregame show because you'll see the weather.
Oh, that's smart. Don't listen to you. Yeah, eyes, not ears. That's smart. But also you want to see sometimes it can be bad up front of the game, and then second half it clears up. So I would not start Chubb over Judy. I just but. There is that it's crappy weather, but even I don't think he's got the explosion right now. All right, I don't think he can break one. You're not getting that old school Chubb 30-yard stiff arm truck stick. But Jason likes to play it safe. He's saying Chubb. Chubb's got the floor. Judy's got the ceiling. But I like Judy with Jameis. He's been pretty solid. All right, Augusto back. QB. Did we already saw the team?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, this is a different one.
Different question, though. Would you do Dobbins in London for Taylor and Garrett Wilson? Dobbins in London, Jonathan Taylor and Garrett Wilson? I mean, obviously you want...
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Obviously you want Jonathan Taylor and Garrett Wilson. I mean, Wilson's been pretty great. He's started slow. He's blown up. Rodgers loves him. London's been great, too. And Jonathan Taylor, I mean, I don't downgrade him that much just with Richardson, right? Yeah, he's vulturing a couple of the touchdowns, but I'm a big Taylor guy.
Yeah, I love JT, and I still like Garrett Wilson a lot, despite having a bad week last week.
Yeah, and then Dobbins isn't great. He's still high.
The Jets' schedule gets a little more favorable as it goes on.
Yeah, we were going to get into that too, but Brian left us. All right, Jesse B. For my final flex spot, I'm going to play Pacheco if he plays. However, if he doesn't, do you think Demario Douglas, my guy, or Adam Thielen should take the spot? Douglas has a safe floor, but I'm not sure. I mean, Thielen's coming off the IR, playing Kansas City. Sure, negative game script, but I mean, Bryce's going to have 150 yards. I mean, we're going Douglas all day.
I'm going your boy here. I'm going with Demario.
Okay, but what about the first part? What about Pacheco? So, I mean, we have to start Pacheco versus Carolina, right?
He's better than the other 2 options for sure. If he plays, I would start him too.
So what if they put a carry ceiling on him? How many carries would he need? If they said 10 carries, you still starting Pacheco?
Yeah, because he still may get some catches. Remember, he still catches the ball.
Okay, yeah, so eight carries?
8 to if he gets like a 15 touch, kind of limit, 10 carries and 5 catches, still give you a solid fantasy day.
Yeah. I mean, Chiefs are Pacheco if he plays, Douglas if he doesn't. Adam Thielen, I mean,
Bryce Young.
If Andy Dalton was playing, maybe we can talk, but all right, Lucio Rinaldi, half PPR, pick 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex. 1, okay. I don't understand. So there's 4, so we're just ruling out 1?
Yeah, so 1, yeah, or no, we have 2 running backs. We have 2 running backs and 3 receivers. 1 has to be a wide receiver, 1 has to be a running back, and the other is a flex. So,
okay. Well, do you like your boy? Do you like Downs this week?
Out of these 3, I don't. Out of these 3, I'm actually benching him. So I'm going D-Hop as my receiver, Najee as my running back, Marv in the flex.
Okay, I'm going Bucky. I feel like I've said this on like 8 different platforms. Najee's kind of breaking down. Jalen Warren's a better back right now. I don't think it's going to flip right now. So I guess this week you probably still get the Najee edge, especially if it's bad weather. Then you want Najee. But I think he's had a crazy workload all season, and I think he's losing a bit of his pop. And Bucky's peaking. They're after the bye week. They're going to run like crazy on the Giants. I'm a Bucky all day, so I go Bucky over Najee. But I am definitely in the exception or the minority. That's the one.
The exception.
And then what?
Yeah, the exception to the rule, right?
Yeah, that's the one. That's what we're going for. And then D Hop, Marvin Jones, D Hop. I'm matchup based, so I want Hop. I want everyone in that Carolina game. Yeah. Chiefs after a loss, they're putting up 40, right?
He's due for a big game, like I said earlier. He hasn't had one in a couple weeks. He's had a couple solid games. It's time for another 20+ pointer.
Okay. Kay says trade away Pickens for James Cook. PPR, he's got Jamar, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, Najee Pickens, Ladd, Marvin Harrison. Owner's been gracious enough to wait for after this week's game. Okay, that's cool owners. I like that. That's not like in my scumbag leagues. Pickens, James Cook, just on the face of it. Who do you like better?
James Cook.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's like Brian keeps saying, he's one of the top running backs in the game this year. He finds the end zone most weeks. He catches balls out of the passing game too. So, yeah, I like Cook here.
I am a huge Cook guy, but you've got running back. What does he need, right? He's got Chase. He's got Chase.
Chase and Ladd McConkey and Marv.
Yeah, but he's got Jake. I don't know. I love James Cook. I'd probably want to check schedules. But Pickens has been crazy, man. Pickens, he's got, I think, 2 touchdowns last 4. He's 80 yards a game. He's breaking big ones. So I'd have to look schedules. But also, we know the weather gets better. We want running back. So you're definitely playing it safer with going with Cook. Okay, last question. Then we're going to wrap up. We're going to do a 2-minute Thursday night preview or something like that. All right, Jesse B. Unfortunately, I have to play Judy this week because of buys. But I could play Thielen. But yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love overreacting to weather. My preview probably overreacted to the weather. I will tweet about it before. No, I probably won't be able to tweet. But we are not freaking out that much. Judy over Thielen. We're not. It's not. It would have to be a perfect storm, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting Judy.
Okay.
We're not at her either again, but here we are.
I wish I was on my phone and checked the weather app. I wonder if it's what would it have to be? You did the weather, so it was 65% at kickoff. Like would that?
Yeah, with 20s and 30s with snow and all that. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm still probably starting Judy. That Kansas City defense scares me for Bryce.
Yeah, it does. Okay, we got all the questions. If anyone we didn't hit, jump over to the Discord. We're going to wrap up shortly. Thursday Night Football. What do you got for me, Jason? Did you hit last week? Oh, you weren't here.
I was absent last week, so I thought I had sent props to the group to play, but maybe not. So I shout out to my network here, Marty. My boy Marty Juice this week is sending me the props. He has George Pickens over 58.5 receiving yards.
Whole world's on that.
Minus 110.
Yeah, no, the whole world's on that. I'm on it too. Everybody's on that.
And then George Pickens over 24.5 yards, longest reception.
Oh, okay. I like that. Those are great.
I also saw one more that I liked. Jameis Winston under 31.5 yards for longest completion.
Wow. Okay.
I like that one too.
So, you like that one?
Yeah, I do like that one.
Okay. No Jameis bombs. Okay. Steelers. Yeah, they limit explosive plays. What are they going to do to Jameis though? Do you think they rush 4? You try and blitz him, make him make mistakes, have him throw over the top, or take the top off, make him beat you underneath?
I would try to make him make bad decisions. Decision making isn't his strongest attribute. Never really has been. I would force him to make decisions and see what happens there. So I'm going after him.
So maybe just give him alternate looks. Looks like you're blitzing the linebackers and then drop them, and then hopefully he tries to throw it and throw it over the top. The classic. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that last question here, then we got to go. We're well over an hour. Dylan, you always hit us up, so we will treat you well. Full PPR 12 team, boost for playoffs. I can afford upgrades. Okay. QBs, JD5, Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert. Your QBs are great. Running backs, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs. They're okay. Wide receivers, okay. You are stacked. Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins. Tanked out Jesus. That's a lot of good wide receivers. Henry, Taysom Hill, Fergie. Who you selling, buying? You are trying to upgrade your running back, right?
I'm kind of trying to upgrade tight end here.
Well, okay.
If I'm you, I'm trying to make a move for Brock Bowers.
I like that. So what's the Bowers trade look like? Could you move to Terry McLaurin to get Bowers straight up, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I'd trade one of the receivers.
But he's also got the Jaden Daniels with the Terry, right? He's got the stack. Like, you're not getting Josh Downs? Think you get Josh Downs for Bowers?
Maybe I would float it out there and see what happens. This is
And then actually
so high on Josh Downs.
And then throw in one of your tight ends, right? Give him Hunter Henry, right? Okay, I like that. I'd go big game hunting for running back though. Maybe do like a chase straight up and try and find the guy with Burrow, right? And then try and get you're going for like Barkley or Henry, right? Like going for a big dog.
Yeah.
Maybe Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe
maybe Tyrion Jacobs for Saquon.
Yeah. So I would go big game running back hunting. That seems your only real weakness. Your team is stacked, but yeah, going Brock Bowers also a good decision. But so who would I sell? I mean, I would keep one of your super elite wide receivers, assuming I don't know if it's 3 wide receiver, 2 wide receiver, but
you're keeping the top 2 for sure.
Yeah, but you might need to use one as a lure. But yeah, if you could just package a Dell Downs.
I am not trading Jamar Chase.
I'm probably not either. But to the Burrow guy, if I'm getting Henry or Barkley, Bryce says, "Do I start Chris Boswell?" You do. He had 6 field goals last week. You start the guy.
Field goals this week, but he'll still probably kick 2 or 3. So,
yeah.
I'm starting him this week. I'm just praying the Steelers don't score touchdowns.
Okay, that's it for us. We went well over an hour. Thank you, Jason, Brian. Suck it. What did I bet? I got Pickens tonight. I got his yards. I bet Russell Wilson yards at like 183. I'm also a big Jalen Warren fan. I bet his rush receiving. I think it's about 48. I think he's taking over for Najee. I think it's coming. He's been the better back. Jason, anything before we cash out here?
I got nothing here.
You got nothing. Okay, great. All right, thank you, everyone. Check us out on our Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. And check us out next week, probably on Wednesday, pre-Thanksgiving show. You're good for that? All right. We got lots of Thanksgiving games. This is finally Thanksgiving.
I'll be here.
All right. Later, guys.